Hey guys, I hope that you are doing well. My name is Vojislav Dragovic, and it is a pleasure of mine to present you Playerhunter Talks podcast, where we will be discussing the most relevant football topics with industry experts. This podcast has been brought to you by Playerhunter and SmrtStats. Playerhunter transfer platform is the first and only free-to-use transfer execution platform that easily connects agents and their players with adequate club requests worldwide with the help of smart matching algorithm. You only need to create yourself an account on Playerhunter mobile app and list your players and wait for the available opportunities. You can find the download link to Playerhunter app in the description of this video. Also, if you are looking for a new performance analysis and video scouting platform, SmrtStats is helping you to make the smartest choice. In case that you would like to explore alternatives to the existing scouting platforms, feel free to reach us out via contact channels that are also in the description of this video. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. As you know, this is the starting season of Playerhunter Talks podcast, and today I have a huge pleasure to speak with Mr. Sarthak Sahai, actually founder and CEO of SmrtStats.
Thank
Sarthak,
you.
how are you doing?
Thank you, Vojislav. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. Pleasure to be on the call.
Thank you very much for joining this call. For the first question, I would like to ask you, can you provide us a simple overview of your company and the platform it has developed for video scouting and performance analysis in football?
Yes, absolutely. Look, in a way, you could call us a startup, but in another way, you could call us a massive organization because of what we've built. Um, in terms of the company itself, we generate a lot of data. And I don't mean the whole volume of things, but also, of course, per match. All this data then goes into the platform, it goes into PDF reports, etc. So there's a lot of aspects to it. But when we talk strictly about the platform, this is a place where you can go and check any amount of detail on a team, on a player, and of course, a tournament. And when you do that on a daily basis across multiple tournaments, that's what truly converts or makes it into a scouting platform or performance analysis platform as well. So all the stats on our platform, you don't have to take them for the face value. They're actually connected with videos. So when you see a number, you can also click the number. And when you click the number, you watch what exactly that number is talking about. So all these instances, small moments combined together tell a story of a match, and several matches combined together tell the story of a trend, let's say.
Understand completely. So, it is well known that even though this is let's say a kind of a new company, you for sure, as well as with some other team members, have significant experience in this industry. Let's say you were a part of Instat before. You were actually an international global head of sales at Instat. So I wanted to ask you, what exactly inspired the creation of this platform? Were there any specific challenges or gaps in the industry that you aim to address?
Okay, so there are two parts to this question. I would say address the first one. Well, let's make it three. So the background. Yes, me and the other co-founders, of course, we were part of Instat before. Some of us were part of other companies or similar projects, not exactly the same space within football, but similar. So working in Instat, working in other companies, being in this industry for a while, we always had that dream, and I'm sure every one of us has probably had that dream, being in any job, not just in football, that I could do it better, you know. But it's only till you start doing it, you understand the true value of it, you understand how difficult it is, and even things which you probably didn't choose to, but did ignore, come to surface, right? So it's been a learning curve for us, and a lot faster, or more, let's say, fast-paced and amazing in a way, compared to when we were working even back in Instat. So that's the background. That's how we started this project. Now, the second part of your question, of course, was how do we address the industry problems in the sense. So for us, we are here to stabilize the market, to actually listen to the clients. We believe that's the most important thing to do. And to address the problems that they have. Now, everyone has a different problem, and we are trying to solve their problems. So we don't come to the industry claiming that we are the best platform in the world, we are the ultimate platform, and you must pay us a lot of money. That's not the goal. The goal is to make it affordable for as many people as possible. to make it applicable for as many people as possible as well. By applicability, I mean they should be able to come to the platform, use it, enjoy it, actually save a lot of time of the daily work process, and then come back to us and say, hey, you know what? I'm missing this feature, or I would like to see that feature, or could something be done along this line? That's when we get together with our development team. We put all this through our brainstorming session, and we try and come up with a solution to solve their problem. So, yeah, in short, let's say we are trying to solve every problem and all problems at the same time. And there's a lot of problems, of course, in the industry. But to begin with, just to be able to provide anyone and everyone with data that is interested in self-development, helping the team develop, and of course, unlock the trends of data as well. So yeah, whether it's an academy in Australia or a college in US or a league somewhere in Asia, we are working with a lot of them, and on a daily basis, we're speaking with them and trying to solve the problems.
Absolutely. And let's get back to the data for a moment. How do you ensure the accuracy and reliability of the data and insights provided by your platform?
Well, the straightforward answer to that, and I want to be as honest as possible, we learn through mistakes. So we do know how data works. We do know how it should be analyzed. Everything that we do is in-house, right? So we've developed our tagging software. We developed our data editor. Everything is done in-house. Now, obviously, when we started this project, we got overwhelming amount of support and actually, clients that came to us and said, yeah, we want to work with you, but we need 50 leagues or 60 leagues at the same time. So we made mistake by actually trying to do a huge amount of volume in the beginning. And this obviously was not a good decision in the beginning, because you are still setting up your process of quality checks. You're still setting up your process of normalization within the departments. So we have 3 different hubs: South America, Asia, Europe. That means we are working 24/7 for analysis. People go into our data centers on 3 shifts. They analyze the matches. Everything goes through AI to generate second and third layer data. So it's a massive process. But it all depends on how well the person or the people are tagging, right? So in order to do this, of course, it's not just about monkey see, monkey do. You give them a process, they do it. It doesn't work like that. They have their own minds. They see football in their own ways. So you have to work with them over an extended period of time to explain to them the methodology. Certain things like a dribble, what defines a dribble, for example, right? So these things we had to learn over a period of time, and I don't mean the actions that we tag, but the people. Now we are at a point where we are extremely comfortable and extremely accurate. We can confidently say that we do not make mistakes in analysis. We can confidently say that the analysts that are tagging, we know them closely. They work in our offices, they know us closely, and they know football, and they speak football the same way like we and our clients do. So in terms of data, I think our key point right now is reliability and accuracy, and it's taken a while to achieve that, and we are proud that we've come this way. And hey, if you can't claim or openly say that you made mistakes in the past, I don't think you've made mistakes till now. Then you will at some point. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to make those in order to be more precise and more successful in the future steps, for sure. When it comes to the technology, you mentioned technology. I wanted to ask you, how does your platform leverage technology to enhance video scouting and performance analysis processes for football teams?
Yeah. So, of course, it's complicated to build what we've built, right? It's not rocket science, of course, but it is still computer science. It is complicated. The platform that we've developed has been carefully thought after. So we've built a system where you can go into the platform and find things really fast and save a lot of time. But also we've incorporated a lot of elements which predict, in a way, what you might want to be looking at. So the technology that we've deployed at this point is somewhere around 60% of our full capability or plan, let's say at a global level. You can already go to the platform and look at more than 200 parameters, click them, watch them, create your own events, literally do pretty much everything you need to do on a daily basis. But we don't want to stop there. What we are now working on is the next phase of deployment, where you will be able to go to the platform and effortlessly um, speak with the platform in a way without giving too many details. That is one of the plan. And also, of course, incorporate elements where the platform can predict what you are interested in. So technology wise, the goal has always been to make lives of our partners and clients easier. And I think we have pretty much achieved that already. And the goal from here onwards would be to add value on top of saving time. And that's exactly what we're trying to achieve now. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, absolutely, and especially since you kind of mentioned, let's say these new technologies, the AI systems. That of course, AI as a concept is definitely in let's say fastest growing thing right now in the world. On the other hand, it's more than obvious that it still takes some time in order to be there where the people expect it to be, or at least for what they saw in the 80s movies from Hollywood. But how do you envision the future of video scouting and performance analysis in football evolving? And what role do you see your company playing in this evolution right now?
So it's a very interesting question. I will come back to the AI part in a bit, but let me just answer this question first.
Yep.
So let's say 5 years ago or a decade ago, data in sports or in football in particular was not a very common concept. You had, let's say, the educated lot that actually understood what to do with data. Then it slowly made its way into the media sector. It made its way into the fan space as well, with a lot of fan engagement tools now running as well based on data. So what I believe is going to be the next trend, and I already see this right now, and I see this in a handful of cases, but it's already becoming a common practice, is where people utilize more of raw data or API, right? So be it JSON, XML, CSV, and they build their own systems. What I believe people don't understand, or maybe they do perhaps, but not in the same way. People think of a platform like ours or the services that we provide and say, okay, you go to the platform, you find the details, and that is what we do. That is not completely true. It is part of the puzzle. What we also do is we provide data to be fed into systems which people have built. If you look at a big football club or organization, they might have set up their own system as well, where they can analyze things. They can put notifications, for example, where as soon as certain KPIs are met, the player qualifies to be looked at for scouting. And these can only be triggered when you're feeding data into your system. Now, obviously, no matter how big your club is, it's almost impossible to generate data at that level for so many competitions around the world. I mean, you can imagine how many matches are played. Even if you analyze 5,000 matches a month, you're still covering barely close to some percentage of the global scale, right? So I believe the next trend will be where people try to utilize data provided by a trusted partner. And I believe that will be us, because of the amount of work we've put in to generating correct data and feeding it incorrectly as well, and with the API that we've developed, which is quite strong. So that's what I believe will happen and will be the next trend. Whether I'm right or wrong, only time will tell, of course, but I have a good understanding of this, and I believe that will happen. Coming back to the AI part, just to quickly address that as well. One thing which is important to understand, there are two types of data. There are several types of data, but two main types of data that people consume. One is the events data, right? So you have like shots, goals, passes, and then of course 200 plus parameters. The other is physical or tracking data. How fast did the player run? What was the speed, etc. When it comes to AI within tracking or physical data, it has developed a lot over the past years. But still, it's not at the point where you can just feed, let's say, match video into your AI tech or system, and it gives you the physical or fitness data. You need to still do manual correction and checks. However, when we talk about events data, which is what we specialize in, AI is not at that level, nowhere even close to that level. You could feed it through a system that you've developed, but you would get extremely high number of errors, and manual correction would essentially sum up to being the same as manually analyzing the match. So in the future, I think this will be a trend where a higher percentage of events data would be able to be generated through AI, but we are not there yet. And trust me, we are working on that also. So if that trend does pick up, we would be one of the first ones to do it.
Got it. And back to the topic of the company itself. What are some of the biggest challenges you have faced in developing and scaling your platform, and how have you overcome them? Let's put it this way.
So the biggest challenge in developing and scaling the platform is from taking it from an idea or face value to actually running it as a huge organization. We're talking about 146 plus people. That's not a startup in the, let's say, actual, definition of startup, but it is at the same time. So the biggest challenge has been into making this huge machinery organization run cohesively and together and making sense out of it. Because in the end, the client will go on the platform, use it, and give you their feedback. But what they don't understand is, in order for data to come on that platform, there are like 50 different parts of the machinery that need to work absolutely perfectly or near perfection. So the biggest challenge has been in defining processes, making people and departments really work in cohesion, cooperate, and of course, to do it at a small level and then copy, paste, repeat, and innovate at the same time. So there is always a sense of learning, then adapting, and then implementing. And that has been a huge challenge because we started off with one client, one league, then we went on to 2, 5, then we suddenly jumped to 50, 60. We scaled it down, and now we are slowly bringing it back up so that we can one day, soon in the near future, cross the 100 plus competitions or leagues coverage mark. So yeah, the challenge has just begun, and I don't think the challenge ever ends. So in a way, the challenge is to constantly understand, adapt, and meet up with all the new challenges that will come along the way.
Absolutely. As Marshall McLuhan used to say, you cannot fight today's battles with yesterday's weapon, for sure. So, especially since we are in the era of technology revolution that is actually for many years. Uh, the thing is that you always need to adapt, as you said, to these new things. But you mentioned one very interesting thing as well, which actually gave me an intro to my next question. You mentioned the feedback from the users. So how do you gather feedback from the users, or in other words, how does user input influence the development roadmap for your platform?
So we keep things traditional within this space, let's say, right? You don't need to reinvent the bicycle, as they say, right? So in bigger organizations or companies, and we will be there at one point as well, we will be big, but we want to keep this process the same. In bigger organizations, you would usually have one person contacting you or as a pre-sales, then one person signing you up as a sales process, then one person doing the customer support with you, one person talking to you about your contractual obligations or contract.
Yes.
We don't do it that way. You have one person, and in a lot of cases, it's even me as the CEO and co-founder of the company, where you can literally write to us on WhatsApp to the same person you're talking regarding the contract, regarding requests, regarding suggestions, regarding technical issues, everything and anything. And what that helps us do is actually keep a close contact with the users, the end users. And these end users, their feedback then is taken into consideration and added into our wish list. So what we like to do, some think it's crazy, some think it's a good thing to do. It depends on who you are. But we do a wish list. So with the wish list, we actually, since we are closely speaking and working on almost on a daily basis with all the users, we keep asking them what is more that we could do, some nice ideas that you might have. We take that all back, build a huge list, look at the global scale of things and think about where are we headed in terms of technology, and try and incorporate as many as possible into the platform and different services. So we did a list at the end of last year of 100 different projects that were recommended to us. We selected 36 of them. We've already finished almost 30 of them, and we are going into the second wish list now. So client feedback is the most important thing to us. We believe that is our secret sauce, so to speak, where if you listen to them, they listen to you, and this is how a relationship is built. It's sort of like a marriage, right? So if you want to make it work, you just need to listen, react, and keep doing that. And that's what we are doing.
Got it, got it. So I believe that we definitely have way more topics to discuss, but let's say that for the end, I would like to ask you what would be some sort of a message that you would like to share with people in the football ecosystem worldwide?
Look, the message I would like to share with people is um, I would like to share two messages. People who are trying to do something similar or want to do something similar, if you are getting into it for the money, absolutely forget it. Just skip that idea, tear that page off, and move on, because you will not get paid. You will be the last person to be paid and the first person to be blamed. It's going to be a very difficult ride. But if you're doing it for passion, 100% do it, because that's the right thing to do. We believe in an inclusive ecosystem for tech companies. So if you are a tech company out there, you're doing something similar or want to do something similar, reach out to us. We have more than 15 partnerships already with different companies. We are building unique ecosystems. We don't believe in closing markets for other people. Quite to the contrary, we believe in collaborating and developing something new for the clients. So yeah, that's the first message. And the second message, I mean, would be for users, end users, or professionals within the industry. So you always, of course, want to keep control of things. You are buying data, you're buying services. There are probably a few providers there in the market. But the whole point of this is that you are heard and that you control the terms and conditions. And that's exactly what we are trying to provide. So if you share our dream, if you share our vision, let's say, then I would encourage you to reach out to us, discuss with us, and if you think it's the right fit, even support us and work with us, because that's the only way it will grow. If you believe that we are wrong and there should be, let's say, just one big organization doing everything, and that suits everyone and is enough, and you don't really need that control, well, then everything is the way it is already. So it really depends on how you envision the future of this space within your industry as a professional of the industry. And if you believe we are doing the right thing, or if you at least share our vision, reach out to us, support us.
Thank you very much for the pleasant conversation, Sarthak. It was a real pleasure speaking to you, and I hope that you also had a nice time being on this
Absolutely, I
podcast.
did. Thank you again, Gustav. Pleasure speaking with you. And yeah, I guess you can drop our contacts in the description, and whoever wants to reach out to us can do so.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you very much once again. Take care and hope to hear from you soon.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.